I'm more honored to know him after what I heard. Kevin, thank you. You're the inspiration. Next, I would like to invite Jim Horn, a friend of mine, who's going to talk about the Islam influence in the United States government. Jim?
Before I came up here tonight, I was asked and I was admonished to be on my good behavior. Those who know me, inshallah, I have been challenged. For 27 years as a diplomat serving abroad, I had to be polite to people I couldn't stand. I've been out of there for 15 years and I've been having a good time. I am known to be a critic of Islam. Some people like it, some people don't. I have spent more than 30 years serving my country abroad, first in the military, and then as a diplomat. I spent 10 years in Islamic countries as a diplomat involved in national security, national intelligence, counterintelligence, and counterterrorism. I made American embassies bomb-proof, and maybe that's why they came over here and blew up the Twin Towers. During my career in government, I worked for and with Muslims. Some were pretty good, some were awful, just like anybody else. The government has real need for linguists. They have their own language schools to teach about 165 languages and dialects. It takes training to learn some of those languages. Some are easy languages, you can learn in 6 or 7 months. Others take 2 or 3 years, like Arabic, Korean, Chinese, Japanese. And it takes a good aptitude to learn that. People who have a 10-year can't learn it very well. Government language schools, State Department, CIA, Department of Defense, and others, have employed Arabic speakers for 60 years to learn or to teach Arabic to their students. Inevitably, those Arabic teachers were not Christians or Jews who were fluent in the language from those countries that they came from. They were Muslims. It takes good teachers and good students to make a good linguist who is knowledgeable. Linguists are essential to the intelligence gathering and intelligence deciphering of our nation. And it's also essential in our counterintelligence. There are thousands of Muslims here who speak English. So that works on both sides of the fence. More on that later. There is little incentive for a lot of people to learn some of the languages of some of the countries that are dominated by Islam. They're not fun places to live. They're not fun places to bring your wife and children, where there are no schools and no health facilities, where things are very difficult, where your wives have to go out in 130-degree sun with long sleeves and sweaters on. It isn't easy. So people don't want to learn those languages because if you become proficient at it, they're going to send you back again and again and again. Why do you think I flunked my Turkish language test? All right, besides teaching languages, teachers also provide cultural orientation to their students. Sometimes they have an agenda that is not always the best agenda for Americans. All agencies of the U.S. government have Muslim employees today. More and more every day. Some are good, some are not so good. We'll move on a little bit here. As we all know, money talks. It talks especially loud with cash-starved politicians who need money for their political campaigns and for other stuff. If somebody needs something badly and they have a nice, thick checkbook, they can go to a congressman, they can go to a senator. Hey, you need $100,000 for your campaign. By the way, there's a vote coming up. I need your help on that. It works. Well, Arab oil interests in Washington, D.C. have a $5 billion budget. $5 billion. They spread it around lavishly on K Street with consultants and lobbyists who go out and work with the congressmen and their staffs and the senators and their staffs to press the Arab agenda. It is not your agenda, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've told you some information. I'm not going to say any more about it. Like the man on Fox News says, you decide. In 1991, Iraq invaded Kuwait. The CIA had 35 Arabic linguists. The State Department had 50, and the other agencies had about 50. At the same time, there were 5,000 people who spoke the languages of the Iron Curtain. 10 years later, on 9/11, there were about 150 Arabic linguists in the federal government. I've talked about that being a dereliction of duty, and it's been reprehensible. It has hurt us. It is still hurting us. In a rush to hire people who could speak Arabic to deal with the reams and reams of Arabic writing and information, they went to the Council on American-Islamic Relations to help recruit Arabists. We all know that the Council on American-Islamic Relations is an unindicted co-conspirator in the Holy Land financial scandal and in other activities. Why didn't they go out and look for Jewish people who spoke Arabic? For Christian Arabs from other countries over there who spoke Arabic? They were excluded. Who did that? Somebody had influence. Checkbooks. Does everyone understand what an unindicted co-conspirator is? An unindicted co-conspirator is someone who is very, very much involved in a crime, but the authorities have not gathered enough information to guarantee a conviction with a jury. That doesn't mean they're innocent, but some people will say, oh yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty. That's what America's all about, right? 3 of the 5 founders of the Council on American-Islamic Relations are in prison for terrorist charges. Dozens more are under investigation even today, or they have been kicked out of the country. The Department of Homeland Security was created after 9/11. In my book, Diddy Da Da Diddy, I'm highly critical of that, of the CIA, of the FBI, and other national security agencies. Diddy Da Da Diddy was indeed censored by the CIA and other agencies, including the White House National Security Council, had a hand in it. It's still a heck of a good read. From the get-go, CARE was involved in the Department of Homeland Security. They had people appointed to high positions, and they are still there in the Department of Homeland Security. They have access to all of our national security and intelligence information. They are potential terrorists, and they have access to all of that. Years ago, the Department of Homeland Security went out and they mapped the entire infrastructure of the United States. Every bridge, every road, every dam, every waterway, every water well, every water source, every electric source, it has all been cataloged at the Department of Homeland Security. Yes, who else has that information? They can shut us down with a couple of bombs and a heartbeat, and they know where to do it, because we haven't given them the ammunition to hurt us. Locally, in the Los Angeles Basin, the Sheriff's Department, police departments, they all got together and said, okay, let's go out and do something here. Let's just start a project called Mapping Sharia. Well, they went out and they started gathering information on all Islamic facilities in the area. The Council on American-Islamic Relations got a hold of it. They went to DHS. DHS came raining down on the parade, and they shut that operation down so that nobody knows who the terrorists are or what they are doing in our backyard. That's what we get. We have not been very bright about it. There are some